Have you ever felt that the more you try to live kindly, earn more money, take care of your health, and maintain relationships, the more life seems to test you? Welcome to Inner World Podcast. I am Liam Johnson, and in this space we explore inner awareness, cultivate mindful wisdom, and build a life of depth from within. Today I want to invite you on a special journey. A journey to light up your life with the 7 lamps of holistic wealth. We have heard a lot about wealth, but have you ever paused and asked yourself, what is wealth? Who is it for? And how much is enough? You see, some are rich in money, but cannot sleep. Some have status, but live in loneliness. Some are admired, but cannot love themselves. And when those things happen, all external wealth becomes empty. So today's topic is not about how to make money, not about success skills, but about how to become truly wealthy in a way that brings peace when alone, strength when facing challenges, and abundance to share with others. We will talk about the 4 root shadows that trap human lives in endless loops, how those struggles overlap and intensify suffering, why the more we try to solve each problem separately, the more problems arise, and finally the core principle: instead of removing darkness, learn to light the inner light. You will hear about the 7 essential lamps that make up holistic wealth. From wisdom, mindset, and character to physical health and material sufficiency. I will explain how each lamp impacts the 4 key areas: inner life, health, relationships, and finances. And the most important part, the one you need to stay until the end to receive, is how to begin this journey from exactly where you are. You don't need to master everything. Just choose the right place to start and keep the light shining each day. At Inner World Podcast, I believe, true wealth is not a destination to take pictures of, but a way of living from within that can be felt, shared, and sustained. You may lose money, health, relationships, but if you hold on to these 7 core values, you can begin again at any moment. So if you've ever felt exhausted trying to fix your life, this video is for you. Join me on this journey, not just to understand the principle of light, but to turn it into a way of living a life where every day becomes a chance to light a lamp for yourself and for the world around you. Are you ready? Let's begin with the struggles of life and the root principle of darkness. You know, on the journey to regain clarity of mind, there is one important thing that few people pause to reflect on. And that is this: what exactly are we trying to change in our lives? We want to worry less, but we keep analyzing fear. We want peace, but we keep fighting chaos. And sometimes we forget a very simple principle. Darkness does not need to be eliminated, it only needs light to appear. That is why in today's episode, I want you to join me in exploring a foundational starting point on the journey of inner awakening, the principle of light. At Inner World Podcast, we believe that everyone can live a profound life just by understanding a few core principles, and light is one of them. It is not a religious or mystical concept. It is a shift in awareness from resisting to choosing, from anxiety to clarity. And once you grasp this, your entire way of living will change. What you need is an awareness of the concept of duality, the root of conflict. I often ask people, have you ever heard of the principle of duality? And if you have, you will notice it everywhere. Right, wrong, good, bad. Light, darkness. Duality is the foundation of discriminatory thinking deeply rooted in the way we think. But here's a paradox. The more we separate, the more we suffer. Why? Because we believe that to have the good, we must destroy the bad. To be at peace, we must defeat unrest. But that is a battle that can never be won. Think about it. If someone spends all day trying not to be angry or not to be negative, are they truly peaceful or just exhausted by the inner struggle? Dualistic thinking always puts us in a mode of exclusion. It doesn't allow us to bring in, it forces us to remove. And that is where all conflict begins. This principle, though seemingly simple, is actually the foundation for many deep transformations in personal development. And if you are patient enough to understand and practice it, this will be one of the moments that changes your life from the inside out. And when we begin to realize that the root of inner conflict is not in the negative itself, but in how we respond to it, everything begins to shift. You see, the problem is not the existence of darkness. It is the belief that we must eliminate it to find peace. Allow me to share with you a simple image, but if understood deeply, it could change the way you see the world. Imagine you walk into a room, a completely dark room, no light, nothing visible, and you have one goal: to make the room light up. Now you have two choices. First choice, you try to take the darkness out. You search every corner, wave your hands, open the door, push the darkness away. You do everything to chase out the darkness. But strangely, no matter what you do, the room stays dark. Darkness does not leave. Second choice, you turn on the light, and instantly the room is filled with light. No more struggling, no more fighting. Just one action, and everything changes. You see, most of us are living with the first choice. We try to remove sadness, push away anger, force ourselves to be positive. But we don't realize darkness cannot be removed. It only disappears when light appears. I once asked a group of small children around 3 to 4 years old a simple question. If the room is dark, what would you do to make it light up? And you know what they answered without hesitation? Turn on the light. So simple. I laughed, not because the answer was cute, but because of the profound truth within it. Children don't try to chase away darkness. They know all it takes is to turn on the light. The adults, the more we learn and experience, the more we forget this fundamental principle. And this is where a major shift in awareness begins. You don't need to fight what you don't want. You just need to nurture what you do want. You don't need to suppress negativity. Nurture gratitude. You don't need to push down fear. Cultivate trust. You don't need to hold back anger. Invite understanding and compassion. We often think we need to control ourselves, but the truth is, you cannot control what you hate. You can only transform it by bringing in something better. When you turn on the light of gratitude, complaints naturally quiet down. When you bring in the light of mindfulness, anxiety steps back. A friend once told me, "I'm tired of constantly fighting myself." And I understood, because I used to be the same way. But at some point I realized I didn't need to fight. I just needed to choose light, choose positivity. That's when my life changed. Not because I eliminated all negativity, but because I chose not to focus on it anymore. I chose to look toward where the light is. And just like in a dark room, when the light comes in, there is no place left for darkness. You see, what I'm sharing today may seem simple, but if you put it into practice day by day, moment by moment, you will find yourself entering a new world, a world where you are no longer fighting yourself, but walking with yourself, with understanding, and with the light of awareness. At Inner World Podcast, we believe that every person has the ability to become a source of light for their own life. And every journey of awakening, every healing, every true transformation begins from within. No one can turn on the light for you, but when you do, your entire world changes. So instead of asking, "How do I stop being negative?" ask, "How can I nurture gratitude today?" Instead of asking, "How do I stop being afraid?" ask, "What can I trust in right now?" That is the art of transformation. No pressure, no resistance, just simply choosing what you want to see and moving toward it. And if you do this every day, little by little, you will not only change your emotions, but also transform the very structure of your awareness. Because light, once lit, is never just a temporary thing. It becomes a foundation for living. Are you ready to stop fighting the darkness and start living as light? If so, then you are in the right place. And the real journey begins now. So how do you actually turn on the light in everyday life? That's when we step into the most important part: application and practice. You don't need to do anything too big. You don't need to go meditate on a mountain or read 100 books. Start with one small but meaningful action. Instead of trying not to get angry when someone speaks harshly, take a breath and try to see them with compassionate eyes. Instead of forcing yourself to think positively when you're sad, write down 3 things you are grateful for today. Instead of fighting loneliness, step outside and quietly observe something beautiful around you: a leaf, sunlight, or an unexpected smile. Because you know light doesn't need noise to prove its presence. It just needs to be turned on, and darkness will naturally recede. What I want you to remember is this practice is not about forcing yourself to do something hard. It's about choosing what is right. Right with the principle, right with life, right with you. But you know darkness or negative things are not enemies. They are just signals showing that something in your life needs re-examination. And when you clearly understand their nature, you will no longer feel fear, but see an opportunity to rebuild from a true foundation. Awakening does not come from running away from problems, but from understanding their true nature. If we liken life challenges to darkness, then to overcome them, we cannot just turn on a temporary light. We need to identify the root of that darkness. And according to what wise teachers have passed down, all life issues, no matter how they manifest, can be gathered into 4 main pillars, which I call the 4 root darknesses. First is inner life. This is the source. If you do not feel stable inside, everything outside will feel shaky. A person, no matter how successful, but living in doubt, in self-criticism, or not knowing why they live, will sooner or later feel empty. Second is relationships. This mirrors your inner life most honestly. When you are emotionally unsettled, the way you connect with others will also be weak. Relationships are a mirror, and if the mirror is cracked, the image you see will be distorted, failing to reflect your true value or that of others. Third is health, a gift many appreciate only when it's lost. When your mind is unsettled and your relationships are strained, your body will speak. Tension, insomnia, digestive issues, low energy are not just physical problems. They are your system sending alerts that you are out of balance. And finally, finance is something that seems external but is deeply linked to the other 3. A person without inner stability will find it hard to keep money. Someone with chaotic relationships may face legal, financial, or support issues. And when health deteriorates, finances will soon be affected. You see, the problems you face are not separate. They are a system closely connected. And to truly transform, we need to view life like a building. You cannot just decorate the top floor and forget that the foundation is collapsing. After understanding the 4 pillars of life's challenges, inner world relationships, health, and finances, a natural question arises: where should I start? And here is something to reflect on. You cannot solve each one separately, like untangling a ball of string. Why? Because these challenges are not separate. They intersect, intertwine, and influence each other in ways that, if not understood, will keep you trapped in an endless spiral. Let me give you an example for better visualization. Someone says, "I am focusing on building my finances." Great. But then a family issue arises, a divorce, and in just one night the wealth accumulated over years is split in half. Finances collapse. But that's not all. The pain from the broken relationship leads to insomnia. Health deteriorates. There is no energy left for work. Then the inner world falls into chaos. Self-blame, emotional wounds, loss of direction. You see, just one issue arises and all 4 pillars are shaken. And the reverse is also true. Someone under severe stress overworks to earn money, which leads to physical burnout. When the body lacks energy, the mind becomes negative. They become irritable, affecting surrounding relationships. Eventually, when everything is in disarray, the inner world becomes even more confused. Because of this deep and complex interconnection, personal development masters have always advised, do not just treat the symptoms. Look at your whole life system. In other words, awaken awareness so you can take ownership of both your internal and external life. Because if you do not, you will fall into a loop that I will share in the next part. Problems arise because we keep trying to solve them. That's right. It sounds paradoxical, but many issues come not because you are incompetent or lack skills, but simply because you keep solving problems without seeing the system. You face a financial issue, you pour your energy into earning more. You argue with a loved one, you try to change them. You feel anxious, you try to think more positively. But you don't realize every time you just put out one fire, another flares up elsewhere. We live as if we are putting out fires with bare hands, forgetting that the flame is coming from within. We tape over cracks in the wall while the foundation is collapsing. We place expectations on others, on our work, on control, while the one thing that has never been healed is our inner world. And so we keep solving and managing our whole lives without ever truly being free. You know, someone once asked me, why is it that every time I feel a little peace, something happens? The answer is, we don't live to avoid problems. We live to understand them, rise above them, and grow through them. But to do that, you have to change your approach. Don't just solve problems, understand their structure. Don't try to control life, learn to operate it as a synchronized system. Because life, like electricity, has its ups and downs, sometimes bright, sometimes flickering. But not all trembling means turmoil. Sometimes it is life's rhythm, asking you to flow with it instead of fighting it. And if you're wondering, what is the first step? I will suggest that in the next part, where we talk about how to build a foundation to sustainably overcome every darkness, you know, many people think, to live well, I just need to focus on making money. Someone else says, just staying healthy is enough. Some people only tend to their relationships while leaving their mind in chaos. But then each of them, sooner or later, realizes one thing. If even one pillar breaks, the whole house leans. And that is why the wise never advise you to choose just one area to focus on. They say master all four areas at the same time, and master them in the correct order of priority. Where to start? Start with the inner world, because this is the foundation. Without inner stability, all external efforts easily collapse. Then comes health, because you need energy to sustain anything, whether it's work, love, or learning. Next is relationships, because life is not a solo game. The one who goes farthest is the one who walks with the right people. And finally, finances, not because money is everything, but because it is a tool. When the other three pillars are solid, you will generate finances from a very different state, one of peace, wisdom, and sustainability. You will become strong enough to build anything you desire. Do you notice that when people talk about wealth, they often look at their wallets? But life is not that simple. Some people are materially rich, yet lie awake every night filled with worry. Others are physically healthy, but constantly live in criticism and dissatisfaction. There are also those who have good relationships, but inside them, an emptiness quietly eats away day by day. And that is when you need to pause and ask yourself, have I truly understood what wealth really means? Lighting up life with the 7 lamps of holistic wealth is how you become whole from within by lighting up each inner value lamp. Instead of endlessly trying to fix each problem, from finances to relationships, from health to inner peace, why not change your approach? Instead of chasing the darkness to clean it up, why not light up the light so that the darkness disappears on its own? If you still remember the example of the house where the 4 dark corners represent inner world, health, relationships, and finances, then you will understand why lighting up is the wisest approach. No one can remove all darkness, but with light, darkness is no longer a problem. So the important question is, what kind of lamps should we light? Where and how? Imagine each lamp as a core life value. When lit, it will shine into every corner of your life. Here are the 7 lamps, 7 aspects that create a holistically wealthy person. As wisdom, the light of clear understanding. This is not just book knowledge, but the ability to see deeply, analyze clearly, and choose the right action in each situation. A lit lamp of wisdom will guide you out of confusion, helping you see the real cause of problems instead of chasing short-term results. Mindset, the light of peace, compassion, and gratitude. The way you face life determines so much. Faced with the same adversity, someone with a peaceful mindset will learn something from it. Someone lacking the right mindset will feel like a victim. The right mindset is the light that shows the way when it seems there is no way out. Character, the light of ethics and integrity. A person with character is someone others trust. You cannot be truly rich if no one trusts you. Trust, loyalty, and respect all start from character. Qualities, the light of maturity and service. This is a deeper layer beyond character. Responsibility, commitment, a spirit of service, and the ability to overcome hardship. A person with strong qualities does not give up easily and is often the one who achieves great things. Capacity, the light of execution. You can dream, but without the ability to make it real, life stays as imagination. Capacity is the lamp that makes all other values useful in real life. Physicality, the light of health, endurance, and life energy. Without physical strength, everything else becomes fragile. A healthy body is the vehicle that carries you through life. Do not wait until you lose it to appreciate it. Material, the light of sufficiency. Material is not the ultimate goal, but it is the foundation that allows you to take care of yourself, support others, and live a more meaningful life. Material sufficiency frees you from the fear of lack. You see, these 7 lamps, when lit together, will create a complete living space, a life of depth, sustainability, and the capacity to spread value to others. I believe that instead of trying to clean up the darkness, light up each of these values, and you will see every problem in life is no longer as frightening as it once was. Once we have seen the value of lighting the 7 lamps, a truth gradually becomes clear. Wealth is not a fixed destination, but a journey of expanding awareness. The development of a wealth mindset. Have you noticed the way people define wealth always changes over time? At first, most people think whoever has a lot of money is wealthy, quite naturally, because in material life, money is easy to measure and compare. But then they witness people who have a lot of money, yet live lonely, unhealthy, even miserable lives. So they say, you must have money and health to be considered truly wealthy. Sometime later, they see someone who is healthy and rich but irresponsible, lacking ethics, causing harm to others. So they add, wealth without good qualities is not admirable either. Going further, people start to realize good qualities without strong character, without being loved by family or trusted by companions, are not truly worthy of life. And then they discover, even with all these elements, if the mindset is always anxious, ungrateful, and lacking appreciation, then that wealth is still only a hollow shell. And finally, they realize to harmonize all of this, wisdom is needed. A clear wisdom to discern what is right, what is needed, and what should be let go. Thus, through experience, the human mindset about wealth continues to expand from material to physical to character, qualities, mindset, and wisdom. And that development is a sign of a maturing inner world. I call it the journey from surface-level wealth to root-level wealth, from the desire to have what you lack to the wisdom of nurturing what you already have. Because if you only chase a poor definition of wealth, you will miss yourself. But if you go deep into your inner strength, you will discover true wealth is something to be shared, not hoarded. And do you know what the miracle is? When you change your mindset about wealth, your entire way of living, working, loving, and serving will change along with it. After you have shifted your mindset about wealth from material to inner values, the next step is to clearly categorize what you are pursuing. Because you know, a life led by wisdom is a life that not only looks at what one has, but also understands what truly holds value. Take a look again at the 7 lamps that were mentioned. Wisdom, mindset, character, virtue, capability, physical health, and material wealth. If you analyze carefully, you will realize that 3 of these values are measurable, while the rest belong to the inner world, intangible yet essential. 3 tangible elements. Material wealth, assets, income, possessions, can be measured in numbers. Physical health, resilience, bodily energy, can be tested and evaluated. Capability, skills, expertise, created outcomes, can be observed through results. These are the things that are visible, easy to assess, and often used as common metrics of success. But what about the 4 intangible elements? Wisdom, no one can see it, but it guides every decision. Mindset, it cannot be measured, but it affects all emotions and behaviors. Character, there is no scorecard to gauge honesty, kindness, or compassion. Virtue, it cannot be weighed, yet it is the human essence that earns respect, or not. And here's what you need to note. It is these intangible values that determine the quality and sustainability of the tangible ones. If you have money but lack wisdom, money will not stay. If you have health but lack virtue, you may harm others. If you have capability but lack character, you will lose trust in relationships. If you lack the right mindset, even with everything else, you will still feel dissatisfied. I believe true wealth must begin with what cannot be bought, because when you enrich from within, external wealth will follow as a natural outcome. But if you only chase what can be counted, you will always feel a lack, no matter how much you have. And you know what the difference between a wealthy person and a truly wealthy person lies. In this, the latter knows how to light the lamp from within, rather than wait for light to come from the outside. So we have almost completed the journey from recognizing the darkness in life to identifying the 4 core challenges, then learning not to clear the darkness but to light up the light, and finally, you and I have explored the 7 lamp, 7 pillars for a deep, fulfilled, and truly meaningful life. Dear friend, if you have come this far with me, I believe something within you has been awakened. It could be a reflection. It could be a quiet resolve, or simply a feeling, this is what I need. And if that truly holds value for you, then you do not need to rush to hit like, share, or subscribe. Only do so when you feel this is something the world needs more of. Because every time you share something meaningful, you are not just spreading information, you are lighting another lamp. Someone in the dark might just stumble upon that light. And thanks to you, they might begin a new journey. I did not build Inner World Podcast to impress you. I built it to help you see yourself. And once you truly see yourself, you will see the world in a different light. So if today something touched you deeply, hit the subscribe button as a commitment to your inner journey. Hit share as an invisible gift for someone who may need it. And if you find it meaningful, leave a comment, not for me, but to mark a shift within yourself. Because maybe someone else is reading it and beginning their own step forward. See you again in the next episodes. Keep lighting up for yourself and for the world. That is what I, Liam Johnson, always hope you remember every time you open an episode of Inner World Podcast. See you in the next part. Wishing you a peaceful evening.